Hello and welcome to day 6 of Romance Yourself. Today we have another restorative practice to build a sense of self-worth. A lot of inner insecurity and inner anxiety can come from a place of feeling like we're not enough. And if that's you, I want you to know that that's me too. I have struggled with a feeling of not enoughness for a long time, and no amount of doing has brought me peace and helped me feel like I am enough. What has helped me feel like I am enough is by connecting to that place of inner knowing within myself and allowing myself to just be with those feelings. That is the reason that we're going to practice restorative yoga today, is because you do not need to do anything else to be enough. You are already enough. This is actually the affirmation we'll be using in our restorative practice today. Our affirmation is simply, I am enough and I do enough. So we're going to start getting set up for instant Maui. It is a half legs up the wall variation. And as we did on day 3, I want you to grab all of your props and maybe even extra things that you just have around your house, like your blankets, your pillows. If you have an eye pillow, that would be great. And again, setting up your space in a way that feels intentional and meaningful to you. Once you have all of those things gathered, we'll go ahead and get started setting up for instant Maui. So you'll start by taking your blocks and you're going to set them side by side on their highest setting at the base of your mat. There will be about hip-width distance apart, and then you're going to take either your bolster or a pillow and set that on top of your blocks. Once again, like on Thursday, we're making sure that these are relatively stable. Of course, if you were to push into them super hard, they would probably fall over, but just pushing down on them and maybe feeling that there's an even distribution of weight for the bolster to rest on between the two blocks. Next, we're going to set up our head support. You're going to need a blanket, once again, taking it and folding it into that squarish shape, and then folding 2 corners of that blanket in towards the center so that you have something like this triangle at the top, and then taking the edge of that triangle and folding it over on itself and setting that near the top of your mat. You will also need 1 blanket just folded in that regular square shape right at the base of your bolster stack, right at the base of your prop stack, I mean. And then this third blanket that I'm going to have today is going to be an eye cover. So if you don't have an eye pillow, I'll show you, you can use your blanket as an eye pillow. And you'll just want it to be folded out in like a longer rectangle shape so it's not as thick. And you're just going to set that above your head at the top of your mat. To come into this pose, you're going to lay down with one hip on that blanket that you set at the base of your prop stack and start to lay yourself down. Go ahead and move your head support or your pillow right about where you think that your head's going to go. Lay down all the way onto your left side and then roll over onto your back. From here, you want your calves and your shins to be supported. So you may have to adjust a little bit. I'm going to have to scoot away from my prop stack just slightly. And you want your knees to be a little bit past your hips. So your knees are not coming in towards you. Your knees are not stacked directly over your hips. They're going to be a little bit behind the hips. And then the feet are just kind of hanging out here. And then you'll take that blanket that is ahead of you and pull that over your eyes and just kind of move the blanket into those corners around your nose and your inner eyes so that you're blocking off as much light as you can. Let your hands rest in any way that's comfortable to you here. Notice if there's any resistance when you arrive to becoming still. And remind yourself that you don't need to do anything else right now. There's nowhere else that you need to be, but right here. Taking these first few breaths to get settled. Letting go of your day thus far. Letting go of any plans that you have for after your practice. Letting this time that you've set aside stand alone, allowing it to be sacred. And then coming to your affirmation, I am enough and I do enough. Repeat your affirmation a few times internally. Feel the weight of your body soften into the props. I am enough and I do enough. Go to that place of inner knowing that you are worthy, that nobody can take this feeling of worth from you. You are enough simply by being. Give yourself permission now to let go. And the next time that you hear my voice, we'll transition out of this pose. Until then, enjoy your rest. Bring your awareness to your breath again. Sense the support beneath your body. Sense the position of your body in relation to the props beneath you. Begin to invite in sounds of your environment. Invite in a deeper breath now. Start to wiggle fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take your time waking your body up with small, gentle movements. Letting those small movements become larger movements. Maybe you reach your arms overhead for one more stretch, reaching long. And exhale to soften one more time. Bring one knee into your body at a time now, giving yourself a big hug, rocking a little side to side. And then roll yourself over to your left side. You can use your head support as a pillow, or you could also use your left arm underneath your head as a pillow. But just taking a moment here on this side to feel space behind your back. Feel support underneath your left side. And to just honor the transition. Slowly begin to rise up into a seat with as much ease as you can. Sitting up tall whenever you get here, closing your eyes, noticing how you feel after your rest practice. Knowing that you are enough, that you do enough, and that there's nothing wrong with taking a few minutes out of your day to restore yourself to a place of abundance within. Repeating your affirmation one more time to seal your practice. I am enough, and I do enough. With this intention in mind, palms together in front of your heart space, Anjali Mudra. We'll close by bowing our head towards our hands and saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you feel rested and restored. And I hope that these words have comforted you if you are having one of those days that you feel as though you're not enough. You are always enough just as you are, and you don't have to prove that to anybody else. If you have the time, I lovingly invite you to stay on your mat for just a few more moments so that you can practice the affirmation meditation included in this collection. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.